What is going on, guys? This is Matt with the Existential Man podcast, and thank you for tuning in to yet another live stream episode of the Existential Man Show. As you know, we are here to help men create the best versions of themselves so they can show up properly for themselves and those that rely on them in everyday life. And today, we got a super special guest and an extremely special topic that's very near and dear to my heart. So, guys, I'd like you to welcome up Harry the Bigdog Jameson. Harry is the host of the All the Way Live limited series show on his channel. And Harry, let's learn a little bit more about yourself. I know you are a veteran.
Yes.
And you told me the other day, how many years?
I have 26 and a half years in. I came in 1983 and I retired in 2010.
Wow. Y'all, that is next level commitment right there. I'll tell you what. But I tell you, I mean, shoot, thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you.
I appreciate you leading the way for us as the young bucks, as they say in the military industrial complex, as you will. So yeah, man. Veteran, you're doing some really cool things with the veterans support movement right now, right? You got
yes.
You got well,
I have a big show coming up.
You got a comedy show coming up. I'm sorry, I'm like stuttering, man. We tried this the other night, and
do I make you nervous?
Yes, sir, you do. It's that bright red shirt, but I tell you what, I like because it matches the theme.
This is not a drill. This is not a drill.
That's awesome. We heard that a few times. This is not a drill. That's awesome. All right. So Veterans Laughs Matter. That is the comedy show you're getting ready to host.
Yes.
Coming up in March, right?
Yes.
So tell us more about that. What's going on with that?
First of all, it is a comedy show that I put on in 2020 originally, when everything was pretty much locked down, and I did it through Zoom. And it was a big success. I had comedians from probably 5 different states, from California to Washington, D.C. to New York.
Okay. And this is an all the way, like, this is live and in person or hybrid?
It's going to be this show here is going to be hybrid.
Okay.
Meaning, for people who don't know what hybrid is, it's going to be in person and virtual through the Zoom platform.
Okay.
Everybody from Zoom will be able to hear live. Everybody from live will be able to hear people from the Zoom. Okay. So it's going to be a real interactive virtual mixture.
That's awesome, though. I mean, so how many comics you guys have lined up so far?
So far, we have 4, possibly 5 comics. Comedians, awesome. I should say.
Awesome. And is there a differentiation there?
I don't know, but I just wanted to be comedically correct.
Comedically correct. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Nice segue, sir. Okay, so Veterans Laughs Matter, obviously, and I'm kind of interpreting this in my own sense, just based on my life experience, but Veterans Laughs Matter, comedy show. Obviously, you know, as veterans, we experience things in our lives that most people don't have. The maybe misfortune is a fair word. I don't know.
Correct.
Don't have the misfortune of having to encounter or experience in their lives ever. And for many of us, or for many veterans, this is the you know, these experiences happened on a weekly or daily basis for multiple months in a row to years in a row, depending upon where they served, when they served, and how long they served.
Yeah. And
so the amount of, I guess, mental destruction and trauma that many veterans have experienced because of these events kind of creates I mean, for no doubt, a lasting, essentially permanent change
Yeah,
uh, in
definitely a
these
permanent
adults.
change. Some people change for the extreme worse. Some people change in that mid range,
Yeah,
and some people, have a light change, but you do change.
yeah,
Like you said, the experiences we have had, nobody. I mean,
right.
some of these things. I worked at the casualty notification.
Yeah, tell me about that.
If you're cringing right now, you know what this is. But what a casualty notification sergeant, we notify the families of injured or killed soldiers, and that is not a job that I would wish on anybody. That is one of the hardest things. Only other people that go through that mainly is police officers and firefighters and doctors,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah, and I mean that's a I know that having been in the military myself and having lost a number of friends,
Yeah,
not having lost a family member, I can't speak to all the ins and outs and the nuances of what the casualty assistance office and the casualty notification officers do, but essentially you're encountering these people on the worst days of their lives, and
yes.
you're reliving their loss with them every time you make a notification. And so,
Ooh, for 2 years I
yeah,
did that. When I first started, there was just about 3,000 in people that soldiers that got deceased. When I
yeah,
left, it was over 5,000.
yeah,
That was in 2 years, and that's not counting the countless number of injured soldiers.
yeah. Now, and I don't mean to touch on a dark subject, and please stop me if this is too much, but did you ever encounter, because I can imagine probably these are some of the worst, is soldiers who uh removed themselves, for lack of a
Yeah,
better term.
yeah. And that's what this show is based around. That's a good segue. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
That's what this comedy show is based around. But we've had, oh, people from your chaplain with 30 years found, I don't even know if I should put this image in people's head, but
yeah,
we've had from all the way that extreme to, soldiers that just will end it. They'll leave messages, voice
yeah,
messages. Oh, it is just so crazy. But this Veterans Lives Matter is actually surrounding that topic of
yeah,
suicide, and
man,
it's hopefully to save a life.
yeah,
And we talked about this the other day. It's
hmm,
not just the soldier, it's the mother father, it's the husband wife, it's the sister brother, it's the
yeah,
cousins, it's the friends. That one act affects so many.
yes,
So the comedy show is geared towards, let's put a smile on your face to possibly eliminate that thought right now.
yeah.
And then you
I
may never think about it again.
We hope, one would
We
hope,
hope, yeah.
but at the
So,
very least, you're giving somebody an escape from something,
yes,
even if nothing else, temporarily,
yes,
from a difficult time or a difficult place in their own mind.
yes.
And
You,
sometimes that's all we need, is just a little bit of the
yes,
respite from the voice and the noises that go on inside our brains, right?
yeah.
So,
And if 2 hours will do that, of a couple of comedians and somebody acknowledging you,
yeah,
thank you for your service, Matthew.
yeah,
Whoever is a veteran that's watching from live or the replay,
yeah,
thank you for your service, and we hear you. You're not alone in all of this.
yeah,
you know that's what this show is for. It's to
And
acknowledge.
that's awesome. I can't tell you because now okay, so all right, before we get into the praise for this show, I have to say I am curious
Yes.
because I don't know about you, but I know that myself and a lot of my veteran friends. Sorry, I've got a cat that's sitting here over my desk, like she wants to jump up on here. So if you all see a tail in the screen, it's
Animals love me too.
yeah. But I know my sense of humor got very dark following my time in the military, and things that most people would find cringeworthy I find funny. And I don't know if that's a coping mechanism. I
It
I, I assume
is.
it probably is, but um some of the stuff that I see, that I saw, some of the losses that I experienced, um and I will say this, I'll be the first one to tell you I didn't have it probably 1/10 as bad as some of the guys I know.
Yeah.
So, I can only imagine the daily fight that they have in their head. But so we have a dark sense of humor. My brother is a firefighter, same thing. He
Yeah.
experiences trauma on a daily basis, and of a different sort, but trauma nonetheless, because of some of the
Hmm.
stuff that they
Yeah.
experience. And he also has a pretty dark sense of humor as well. So I'm wondering, um, I assume that the show is gonna probably stay away from some of that type of humor.
Yeah. We'll,
Let's hope.
we'll, we'll touch on it right now, though.
Yeah,
While we were in the office, I'm normally surrounded by six, maybe seven other NCOs, sergeants,
yeah,
maybe a couple of officers.
mhm,
And that that's the coping mechanism of keeping our own sanity
right.
through these dark times.
Yeah,
We were actually a place in the military where nobody loved liked to see us work. When we didn't have anything to do, it was a great day.
I can imagine.
Because of what we did. But that's all we did. We sat there, we joked enough because the job in itself is just a tear jerking,
Yeah.
nonstop. And if you have any type of feelings, you're gonna feel it every day.
I think it probably touches the deepest, when you do something like that every day, it probably hits the deepest parts of humanity, the humanity that's within us.
Ooh.
And, um, I can't imagine having to do that every day for 2 years. I couldn't imagine it. I mean,
Initially, it took me 6 or 7 months to actually cope.
yeah,
I mean, you're getting out of work, you're going home,
yeah,
and I grabbed the remote, watched TV. Hours later, it's 2:30 in the morning. The
mhm,
remote's on the floor. I'm still in uniform, still in my boots,
yeah,
still got my hat on, or berets were we were
yeah,
wearing at the time.
yeah.
And it's just so mentally exhausting,
Yeah, I can
you
only
know.
imagine. Well, I mean, you gotta figure, like, kinda like we touched on earlier, you're literally walking into people's lives on potentially the worst day of their
Yeah.
lives.
And
And
luckily, I didn't have to, bootlegging off of what you said. Luckily, I didn't have to knock on any doors. We were the main
yeah,
hub, and we got everything from wherever, the states or overseas,
yeah,
and we got that information, and we had to shut everything down so
mhm,
people wouldn't contact, because some of these people, soldiers, I should say,
yeah,
were friends of a deceased or wounded, and it's
yeah,
only in their heart to call family members, but we don't
right,
want that.
right. There
We
has to
want
be an official
us, yeah.
notification.
There's had to be official channels to go through first,
Right.
and that was us.
Yep.
So it was just a lot to go through
Sure.
and do that job.
Yeah. and you're getting all. I mean, I'm sure on some level you're getting maybe not all the gory and gruesome details of how the loss occurred, but you're getting enough to have a general understanding of it. And seeing all that, I man, that's
And
that's a
it
tough
never
thing.
goes away.
Yeah, it's a tough thing, because you got I mean, you're probably looking at the PAO photos of these deceased soldiers. You're looking at their files. You're looking at you know all the things. So now you're creating this like visual record in your head of this
Yes.
individual, and then I mean, it's all on paper at least the extent of the career that they had,
Mm-hmm.
and you may not have known them as an individual, but you're starting to understand who that person was based on the type of career that they've had up to a certain point.
Yeah.
And then you also see how they met their end, and it's kind of like this is, you essentially there's probably something subconscious about reducing a life down to a file folder of paperwork.
Yeah. And
And
then
so,
and then on the other end, sometimes the family is just so beautiful and nice
yeah,
and so hateful at the same time.
yikes.
And that was the worst parts of doing that job when you got to the hateful ones. Like, okay, they're dead. Where's my money? You talking to those extents?
What?
Yes.
Wow.
And
Uh,
it was just, you see the best and the worst in people in those times,
yeah,
and
I
you
can
have to
imagine.
deal with whatever comes.
Yeah, I can imagine. But that's, I mean, I guess, you know, um, I didn't know the guy, but there was a story. Here's a story of probably the closest understanding I have to a situation like that. Um, I knew a guy that lived in the same neighborhood on post as me a
Hmm.
number of years ago. He was deployed and he got killed. No, he was not deployed. He got killed in an airborne operation. So he died. He died as a result of parachute malfunction.
Mm.
And he when they came to notify his wife, the wife's boyfriend was there
Mm.
in the soldier's house, and essentially there was very little emotion from the spouse, from the wife, and basically her first question was like, okay, how long does it take to process the life insurance?
Hmm.
And I don't know, I can't say that that's 100% accurate as far as how it went in. I wasn't there. This is kind of a story that got passed through the spouses in the neighborhood, and my wife talked to me about it, and I was like,
But it's just like that. It's
I can
it's
imagine.
it's just like that. And this is one of the reasons why you have to get your paperwork together. Even out in civilian life, you have to get your wills together. You have to get your insurances together.
Hmm.
Some people done it so many years ago. They've been married two other times.
Yeah,
The same people are on
right.
the original policies, the
Yeah,
original wills, and
yeah,
all that stuff has to be updated. And when it's not, this is what happens.
exactly. Yeah, and I think that's it's a great point, when it comes to kind of just making sure your life is in order, because that's kind of one of the things that I've talked about on episodes in the past is, it doesn't matter how small or how large of a detail it is, it's the details that matter.
Yep.
And those are the things where I'm just as guilty. I mean, I am when I share this information and I kind of preach this stuff on the show, it's not because like I'm better than anybody else. It's just as much of a reminder to me as it is to
Yep.
anybody else that's listening. It's like, hey man, get your shit together, because you
Yeah.
never know when the end is the end.
Yeah.
And so the
You
last thing
never
you
know.
want, right? The last thing you want is for somebody who shouldn't be receiving your benefits or
Yeah.
whatever to receive them, and those that should be are not taken care of in the end. So I don't know. It's a rough thing. Hey guys, those of you just you see the Veterans Last Matter thing ticker down on the bottom. If you see that and you guys want to get a ticket for the show, make a donation, please visit the website and go do that while we continue having this episode. So
Yes.
thank you guys so much for your support, and I appreciate you guys out there watching. So, all right, so tell me. Okay, so 26 years. You spent 2 years in the casualty assistance.
Hold on.
Oh,
26 and a half years.
I'm
Do not
sorry.
forget that half. I did that time.
I did that time, dang it. All right. Okay. 26 and a half years, 2 years in the casualty notification office. What other stories can you tell us? Or are you willing to tell us?
Legally?
Legally? Yeah, legally. I don't want you to say anything that's going to get you or me in trouble here.
Oh, not much. Not
Okay.
much.
All right. So, okay. So, man,
we'll talk about the comedy show.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to get back to that. We kind of went off on a tangent.
One of the things that we talked about the coping mechanism, and
Right.
it universally it's laughter.
Yeah.
I laugh every day, even on my bad days, I laugh, I smile because it's um how you say a gesture of it's okay, come talk to me.
Yeah.
That I'm smiling. If I looked like this, all the time, nobody would come up to me and talk to me. But since I have that smile, I must have come talk to me written on my forehead because
You look
everybody does.
friendly.
Yeah, I
You
look
look
too
friendly.
friendly.
Oh,
Hey, let me tell you my whole story in 7 minutes.
oh, my wife has such a problem with that. It's like every time we go somewhere, any stranger that comes up to her starts chit-chatting. All of a sudden, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm looking at my watch like 25 minutes later. It's like, all right, babe, we got to go. Like, come on, we got stuff to do.
It happens all the time. But you
Yeah.
know what? I said it earlier. You never know what people are going through.
Yeah.
That person needed to talk, and you just got chosen.
And sometimes, sometimes you might be the one that makes the difference in them making a rash decision or not.
Yeah.
I'm are you linked up or have you looked into linking up with Mission 22 at all?
No. Did you tell me about that before?
I mentioned it before, but it might be a really good thing to look into because you know what Mission 22 is, right?
No.
So Mission 22 is essentially a charitable organization that deals with veteran suicide. And it's 22 veterans per day take their own lives. And so that's why it's called Mission 22, is because their mission essentially is
I'll
to
tell you something
eradicate.
about that number in a second.
Is it low?
It's lower than that. That 22 was never a 22.
Okay.
It's on average is 17.
Okay.
22 just sounds better.
Oh, okay.
but on average it's 17 soldiers, veterans that take their life every year.
Okay. See, this was
not every year, every day.
Day. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
But essentially, I mean, their goal is to eradicate veterans, self-deletion for lack, because I know some of the algorithms don't like the S word. So we, I know we've already said it a few times. I don't really care so much.
I don't even like the word, but
I don't either.
So people understand what we're talking about.
Right. So, but yeah, when we started talking about the Veterans Laughs Matter, and then bringing awareness to veterans mental health issues and veteran suicide, the first thing that popped to my mind was like a really good partner for that would be Mission 22.
Yes.
And so I'm going to commit to helping look into that, and I will look into that and send you as much information as I can.
Okay.
On that,
Thank
because I know that there is a local chapter not far from me.
Hmm.
And so if I can at least link you up with the right type of people, I would love to be able to do that. So
Thank you. Thank
yeah.
you.
So that might be a really good thing for you guys to partner with. I don't know what kind of promotion they can or would or would be willing to do. And it might be late for this year, but if the show goes on next year, as I hope that it will, uh, that would be something that could potentially become a good long-term partnership for you guys,
Yes.
because it's a strong ally, both trying to support and bring awareness to the same cause.
Hmm.
So
One through comedy and one through information.
right, right. And I even have I'm kind of a business partner in a I'm a small business partner, but I'm a partner in a financial services and credit repair organization.
Okay.
And I talked to a buddy of mine, the buddy of mine who's the kind of the majority, and we're trying to work out some sort of thing, just to let you know. We're trying to work out some sort of thing that I don't know how quickly we can get it in place, but if we can get it in place in time, basically every sign up for the month of March, um, every initial consultation or every initial intake fee, 80% of that will go towards the Veterans Laughs Matter. That's what I'm trying to pitch him on.
Oh
So
man.
if we can get that going, I will give you the information on that and where to send people to make that happen. And so I would love, because I believe in this so strongly,
Me too.
um, that I think having one of the largest, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing probably one of the largest speed bumps to making this thing happen and putting this thing together is financial support, financial backup.
Yes. Yes.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, based on our discussion, veterans, any veteran of the U.S. military, their admission to either the live event or the online streaming event is going to be no charge, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then everybody else that's not a veteran, as like a guest, would be a donation
A
only.
donation.
Is
Minimum
there like
donation is $1.
the minimum donation is $1? Okay. So I'm going to
and
ask.
and it's just to help offset
Right.
costs.
Right.
There's a
Because you got
cost
to
to
have a venue.
everything.
You got to have a venue, right?
Yes. Yes.
And
The
there's going to
equipment
be the
to stream
stream.
this
Yep.
thing, the
Yep.
cameras, the camera people. I
Right.
was
The
going to say
operators.
cameramen, but
Yeah.
camera operators, even
Yep.
better word.
Yeah. And probably someone running
The
sound.
comedians,
Yeah. The
yes, the
comedians and stuff.
sound, the
And
whole nine. It just takes a
yeah,
lot. And
I
right
know that.
now it's coming out of pocket.
And I know that I'm guessing that on some level the comedians are in some sense, one way or the other, maybe donating their time or donating some of it or
Some of
doing
them
a
are,
significantly
yes.
discounted rate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some of them are.
But it would be nice to cover their expenses
Yes.
and get them paid for their time.
I don't want anybody to work for free.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to be able to pay everybody or give
Yeah.
them something.
Right.
So,
And nobody wants to work for free. Let's be
yeah,
honest. You know,
e
but
even though they're offering,
sure.
I don't even want it.
Right.
I don't even want that to
Right.
happen.
And
So,
it's very much appreciated to those that are, out there offering to do such a thing.
yeah,
Super appreciated. But I think I'm on the same page as you, Harry. I think it would be nice if they could get paid for their time.
yes,
Um, I think it's a super cool thing that they're doing just to come out and do it. Um, a lot of comedians, if it's not a comedy show where they're going to get high exposure, or
right.
it's not a large paying event, they won't even do them. So the
Yep.
fact that they're willing to, I think that's awesome.
And we
And
have a couple of comedians that are veterans.
that's even better, because
Yes,
they understand the
yes.
nuances of the life.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So that's great, man. Um, yeah, I'm definitely on board. I'm gonna try and push this thing a little bit further so we can make that happen. But if I get the green light, I will send you the information so you can share the links and all that kind of stuff where people
Okay.
can go get more information about the financial stuff. I don't I don't anticipate getting a lot of people. It's not like a super high
You
turnover.
know
It's like,
what? Anything helps.
yeah.
That
So,
$1
and that's,
donation, it helps.
yeah. And so that's what we're asking for. For those of you that are veterans or support United States military veterans and would like to show your support, please visit the link down below. It's in the ticker. I kept it up there so that everybody could see it. So yeah. All right. Okay. So veterans laughs matter. We've got that. Now, you do a couple other things on the side too. So you're in the middle of a show right now. It's a limited series. It's all the way
Yes.
live.
Yes, it's all
Okay.
the way live, and
And go
it
ahead.
it's based around live streaming. Now,
Yep.
I've been doing this for quite a little while, and I've learned a few things. So
Sure.
I'm kind of just giving out little bits of knowledge. We're coming on for maybe 20 or 30 minutes every Wednesday, starting today, which is the 7th of February, through the end of the month, which is, I think, is the 28th.
Okay.
Every Wednesday, 10
It's a leap
o'clock
year.
Eastern. Yes.
The 28th, not the 29th. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Every
Okay.
Wednesday in the month of February at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time, and what is it, like 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock
Wait, what time
Pacific?
Eastern? What time
7
Eastern?
yeah, Eastern Time is 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock a.m.
9
Okay.
o'clock is Central
Yeah, it would be
Time. That's
7.
us.
So it'd be 7 a.m. Pacific.
7 a.m. Pacific.
Y'all on the Pacific, y'all on the West Coast, you better get up early.
Yeah.
Y'all better get up early.
It'll
So
be there.
yeah. You
We're
guys you get the
streaming.
replay?
We're streaming. We did the first episode today.
Okay.
We got 3 more episodes coming up, and
Very cool.
it's mainly geared towards beginners, but
Yeah.
your veterans will pick a few things up.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's
Very
those
cool.
people who are just so scared of this camera. I love this camera. If anybody haven't noticed,
I'm
I love the camera.
man, sometimes I feel awkward as hell in front of this camera.
Mm.
I'm not even gonna lie. Some
I
days I
do.
feel like it's my best friend, and some days I just feel awkward as hell, and I'm just like, do I really wanna?
I do every show. I tell this story to everybody. Every show I get nervous.
Yeah.
So I'm like this, and I don't know if you see me do it at the beginning. I think I had
No.
did it already.
Jitters.
And soon as
It's
the camera goes on, I'm good.
yeah.
But it's that right
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. It's kinda like one of those things where, uh, oh man, I played football in high school and a little bit in college, and yeah, always before a big game, I'd find myself getting sick, and it's just kinda like,
Mhm.
I just gotta get that I gotta get
Them
that
butterflies.
yeah, that stuff out of me, and then I'm good to go. And it was always, it always ended up fine, but it's just
Yeah.
like that feeling, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think some of the thing because obviously I have my own other business, which is Go Harder Media Group. We do digital media coaching and
Yep.
social media consulting and marketing for small businesses, and I not so much on the streaming side, but I guess kind of when I'm talking to small business owners about building a digital media presence, whether it's photos of them and their team or
Yes.
videos of them doing explanations of some of the stuff that they, services or products that they provide or sell on their website, because as we know, people do business with people they know, like, and trust.
Yes.
Um,
That's why I love the camera.
right,
It shows you,
right.
unless you bring your representative and keep them up there.
But somebody's got to be the face of the business,
Right,
right?
somebody.
But then, like, I'm sitting here having this discussion with them, knowing full well that I myself, I'm like, sometimes I just hate getting in front of this damn camera. Like, I don't want to do it, but I got to do it. So,
Ah,
but that's the thing too, is like, and this is something I preach on the Existential Man, is like, one of the big things about that is feeling like you're hitting the edge or of your comfort zone,
Yeah.
it's leaning just beyond that edge. That's where we find our largest points of growth.
Mhm.
And so I know that even though I don't like getting in front of the camera sometimes, and sometimes I feel like almost like this imposter syndrome kind of creeping in, I know it's me pushing beyond that trepidation, that hesitation, where I make the most progress.
Yep.
And so
You're getting out of your comfort zone.
right, right. I'm pushing myself beyond what my mental limits are, because I'm obviously, all humans are way more capable of things than what their mind limits them to do.
Mhm.
And so um I love that you're coaching that, because I think I was talking to no, I was watching a video, and basically it,
Mm. I think we lost Matt for a second. Hopefully he will be back. I see you froze. I guess I'm taking the show over now. Okay, I think we're back. I think he's back. Matt, can you hear us? Can you see us? I think we lost Matt, but he'll be back in a minute. Oh,
are we
yes.
still here?
Yes.
Man, I don't
Okay.
know.
I was about to say he'll be back in a second.
No, I am okay. So I live in a rural area, and sometimes my internet just decides to be, my internet just decides to
Finicky.
do this thing where it doesn't exist. So I
my other partner, she's got her own personal LinkedIn. She's she's got a couple of YouTube channels and a couple of Facebooks.
Okay, good deal.
So yes,
So, we need to get that address down in the chat, so that people can go see that if they want to learn more about jumping in, especially if they're newbies. If they're jumping into live streaming, this would be something that would be good for you.
oh yeah,
So, so while Harry puts that in the chat for you guys,
yep, I'm bringing it up now.
tell me what else you've got. The DJ interview show.
Yes,
So, so tell me more about.
you've been doing your homework.
Hey man, if I'm gonna have somebody on, I at least want to know who I'm talking to and what they got
Yes,
going on. You know what I mean?
yes,
Because the whole goal is for you to be able to promote what you got going on. Let's hear
yeah,
about it. So you've interviewed some pretty big names,
yes, I
as far as I
have.
understand it. So
if if you guys are into hip hop
yes,
and the DJing, you know of MC Shan.
yep,
MC Shan, I've interviewed him. Um, Back in the day, the old school group, the Cold Crush Brothers. I've interviewed their DJ Tony Crush, uh, Grand Mixer DXT, formerly known as DST, Herbie Hancock. That song Rocket.
yes,
I interviewed him.
okay,
And I'm at episode 117 right now,
that
and
is
yes,
amazing,
and it's just good to talk to these DJs and get all of their stories.
right?
Man,
Now,
it is just nice.
yeah, you got so you got a guys. This link that I just posted. This is the link for his um all the way live stream. So go check that out. So you recently and you're at 117, you said?
Yes.
Okay. So you recently got an award for didn't you get recognized for
Oh, for
creator?
somebody, yeah, for some creator thing on Facebook.
Yeah. So that's awesome though. I mean,
Yeah, it is.
I don't have one of those.
I personally thought everybody got these just because they're posting. But
No.
as I posted that, all the messages I had, over 60 messages, comments,
Yeah.
and nobody had it. And and it made me feel special.
You should feel special because I don't have one of those, and I don't know any of my other friends that do streaming or creating or any of that have one of those. Maybe DJ Strick, I don't know, but
Yes, baby.
no, that's awesome, man. So when do those come out? How frequently does the DJ interview show come out?
I
And
was
when's your next
doing I was doing them, and I had to slow down
okay.
because I got a little burnt out. So and that's one of the other things I'll talk about in my live streaming course,
Yeah.
being burnt out. When you burnt out, take a break. So
Yeah.
I got a little burnt out because I'm doing them every week.
Yeah.
And as you know, doing interviews, it is a lot to get an interviewee.
Yeah.
That's what I am, right? I'm the
Yeah.
interviewee.
You're the interviewee, yes.
Yeah. It takes a lot. You're vetting,
Yeah.
you're pre-talking,
Yep.
you're setting up dates,
Mm-hmm.
you're promoting. And
Yep.
this is all before the show even happens.
And you're doing all your research like I did
Yes,
on
you're
you.
doing all your research on a particular person.
Right.
So
It's
and now
time
doing that
consuming.
every weekend, week out. I got
Yeah.
school going on. I got projects.
Yep.
We'll talk about my filming projects.
Yes. I know you're going to school for that, so I want to know more
Yes,
about that too.
we're doing that, and just regular home life. I'm
Yeah.
getting back into DJing. So that's another takeaway, a time
Yeah.
takeaway.
Sure.
So it's just a lot. So now I've made the decision to cut it down to 2 per month, by
Yeah.
maybe bi-weekly, but definitely 2 per month.
Okay.
And I was doing, mind you, I was doing them all live.
Yeah.
So along with comes with live
Right.
is the pressure of the person showing up.
Right.
And I got caught
So
out there one time like that, and I had no idea what to do
no
because
backup, no
I'm
nothing,
think
man.
no nothing.
Ugh,
Ever
that's
since that happened,
yeah.
I'm always ready to come on by myself
Yep.
if my guest doesn't show up.
I mean, on some level, you got to be prepped for that just in case.
Yes. Yes.
But
I didn't know that at the beginning. And it's a
yeah,
lot of
and I
stuff like you talked about earlier. You learn as you go.
right. Sometimes you learn the hard way
Yeah.
because you end up on and you're there by yourself.
Yeah, and that's where the real the
Yeah,
real people come
leaning
out like,
beyond your
um,
yeah,
yeah.
leaning beyond your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about jumping off the comfort zone cliff right there.
Yeah.
It's easy to have a conversation with another person over the camera. What's really
Yes.
difficult is having a one-to-one conversation with your camera.
With and people
So,
don't understand that, and I think,
yeah.
that's why people are not more people don't go live.
Yeah.
They're just scared of that camera. Even on a lot of my interviews,
Mhm.
I talk to people and interview them via phone or something
Yeah.
just to get a comfort level
Right.
with them.
Mhm.
Everybody has a cadence.
Yeah.
So I get their cadence. You talk, I talk, not we talk over each other.
Yeah.
So I get all of that. And then we get on camera and they're not used to the camera. And then it's like, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
They get nervous.
Yeah. And
Well,
it's
it's
like that for about 35 or 45 minutes until they forget about the camera and they just start talking to
they
me.
just start talking. And it's crazy because even in today's society, after the pandemic, all that kind of stuff, with how much everything moved to, you know,
Virtual.
virtual meetings, all that kind of stuff, and how much Zoom and other similar platforms like, GoToMeeting or Microsoft Teams, Google, whatever, all those things kind of became the norm for a year.
Yeah.
And so you would think that people would have a little bit more experience and comfortability with using those types of platforms and having a virtual conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I mean, I can't say anything. I was considered essential, so I didn't get to work from home. I worked from home, but not as often as I would have liked.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I work for the government, so
Okay.
I didn't have a choice to
That's why.
yeah, unfortunately. So, it is what it is. But yeah, so with it being as kind of mainstream as it is, because I know a lot of places haven't gone back to in-person meetings, or at least not full in-person
Not
meetings. So
fully.
a lot
And
of it is still
that's
virtual.
why the hybrid is so important now.
Right.
You
Right.
know, you talked about it just a second ago, the virtual thing. Everybody went to virtual. So now you open up the world,
Right.
not just your neck of the woods.
Right.
You can get that person from London. We did a New Year's Eve show and had a person log on from London. It was already the next day there.
Yeah, they had already celebrated New Year's
Yes, they
Eve.
had already celebrated and she was already drunk, but
Oh,
ended
man.
up
Good for her.
somehow on our Zoom call of
Oh, that's
all.
funny.
And it was just so dope to have.
Right.
When I did my first Veterans Laughs Matter, I told you it was on a Zoom platform. I
Yeah.
had people from everywhere, from
Yeah.
east to west coast.
Mhm.
And you cannot do that
No.
if somebody has to come to a venue. Now, I
Yep.
don't hate on live venues. I love them because of the networking aspect of it.
Yeah.
You want to be around people. You don't
Yep.
want to be so closed off that you only do things online.
Right.
You know, I that I don't get, but
Yeah. I yeah, man. I just with how mainstream it is, even still though, I have to say personally, I guess maybe because I don't do it enough or didn't do it enough, like it's still, I'm not going to say it's new to me. It's not new to me. But like I said, I mean, there's still those times where it's like, I don't want to get in front of the camera. And so part of that is like kind of like you do before your show. You kind of got to, before the shows, you got to kind of psych yourself up and get the jitters out and just be like, you know what? It's just a thing. It's just a thing I got to do. It's just a thing I'm going to do. And then when I'm done with it, I'm done with it. And no
Yep.
big deal. And so, but I will say it's much easier to have somebody else on the other end to actually have a two-way
Yes.
conversation. That's always a plus.
I
That
do not
definitely
like
makes,
talking by myself.
yeah, that
I'd rather
definitely
have
makes live
somebody
streaming
there.
easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes it way easier.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So we've covered a lot. So we've covered the Veterans Laughs Matter, which is probably the most important thing. Let's recap.
Yes.
We've got the website down on the bottom of the screen on the ticker.
Hmm.
So go ahead and please visit that. Make sure you get your tickets and make your donations. Anything you can give, a dollar or more or dollars the minimum. Anything you can and are willing to give is very much appreciated.
Yes.
Um, so the dates on that again is the what, March 23rd? Is that what
March 23rd,
March 23rd,
2024.
2024? Okay. So veteranslaughsmatter.com. Go there, get your tickets. Look forward to the show on March 23rd of this year, and definitely go check out the It's All the Way Live streaming coach session that they've got going on every Wednesday starting. They have the other episode. The first episode is already up,
Yep.
correct, Harry? Okay, so the first
Correct.
episode went live today, and it is up and available for review, and it's every Wednesday, 10 Eastern, 10 Eastern, 9 Central, and 7 a.m. Pacific time. So those of you on the West Coast, get your butts out of bed and get on that stream. And then the DJ interview show. I know you're taking a break. Any upcoming shows coming up with that? Or
I have
is
a
it
few
still on pause?
upcoming this month.
Okay,
And it's
very
more
cool.
towards the end of the month because I'm also doing a documentary.
Oh yeah, tell me about that. I
I'm
forgot we
doing
were
a
going to talk about.
documentary on setting up this Laughs
Oh, that's
Matter
awesome.
show. So we'll be interviewing some of the comedians, we'll be interviewing some of the veterans.
That's
We'll get
fantastic.
footage of the actual show, and we'll get post show
That's awesome.
interviews, and it is just so dope.
That is awesome. And you're going to school for that, right? Video
Yes.
production, video, is it video
Film.
production? Okay.
Film.
Okay. All right. So that's right up your alley, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just kind of a creative all around, aren't you? You just
I was complaining. I was complaining this morning to the wife. She's like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, "I just create stuff for myself, knowing how lazy I am."
Oh man. Well, we kind of all do. I mean, really, uh that's the thing though, is like if it makes you happy,
Yeah.
and if it's in your niche, and if you're something you enjoy doing, like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Putting smiles on people's face
Right.
is what I found out my purpose of being here.
Yeah. And that's a noble purpose. I mean,
Hmm.
there's enough, gosh, man, there's enough depression and sadness and anxiety,
And
and there's enough things that you could be
hate and everything
hate. Yeah,
here.
that's another one. Eh, anything to lighten the mood, and instead of create division and separation, create community, I
Yes.
think is super important.
Yep.
And so I mean, I applaud you, sir. I applaud you, sir, and thank you for all your efforts.
Thank
So,
you.
um, yeah. So, let's. How can people connect with you, man? I know you're on Facebook. You got an Instagram or YouTube or any of that kind of stuff?
Mainly Facebook. I
Okay,
do have Instagram, but I don't play on that because they do vertical video, and I'm not a fan of vertical video.
fair enough.
So I'm on Facebook, I'm on
Yeah.
LinkedIn, I'm on YouTube. Facebook, you can find me at Harry the Bigdog. Big
Okay.
Dog is how it's spelled, Bigdog. not
Right.
no other type of dog with 3 G's and W's and all that stuff.
Okay.
LinkedIn, it's my name. You can type me up and search
Okay.
Harry Jameson.
All right.
Jameson spelled Jamison.
Okay. Jamison.
Correct.
Okay. So that's you. That's our Facebook and that's our LinkedIn. All right. Is there anything else that we have not covered that you would like to cover, sir?
The winning numbers to Mega Millions.
Are
If
you waiting for
anybody
me to tell
has
you?
that, or if you have that, could you please just,
Right.
put them in the chat?
I'm calling 8 as one of them, only because that's my lucky number.
All right, I'm gonna watch it. What's
All
today?
right.
Tuesday? One comes out
Today is
today.
Wednesday.
Oh, today
Today's
is
Wednesday is
Wednesday.
Powerball, I believe.
Wow, I'm a day somewhere missing.
Yeah, I think Wednesday is Powerball. I could be mistaken.
Powerball, yeah. Okay, the winning numbers to Powerball.
I'm still going with 8. I feel it. There's going to be an 8 in there somewhere,
We'll check tomorrow.
right? We'll see if I was right. If there's not an 8, I'm out. But well, shoot, man, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on.
Yes.
I really look forward to seeing how the Veterans Laughs Matter goes, and I really am looking forward to seeing the show. For those of you that are watching or listening after the fact, please check out veteranslaughsmatter.com. Go ahead and get your tickets to the Veterans Laughs Matter comedy show. Make sure that you support the effort, bringing awareness to veterans' depression, suicide, and kind of help bringing laughs to people for that have gone through some traumatic experiences.
Yes.
So, Harry, thank you so much, sir. I appreciate your time.
Pleasure. Thank
And
you for inviting me.
yeah, absolutely. Real quick, two things. Obviously, the Existential Man, we are a podcast that focuses on bringing out the best and encouraging men to be the best versions of themselves so they can show up right for others in the world.
Yes.
Based on your experience as a man, as a veteran, what is the best piece of advice that you could pass along to young bucks that are looking to bring out the best versions of themselves?
Abraham Lincoln has a quote that I just love, and I talk about it all the time. His quote is, "Whatever you are, be a good one." So I will pass that on to all of your listeners. Whatever
That's
you are, be a
awesome.
good one. And that will make you a better person.
There you go. Whatever you are, be a good one. Thank you so much for the wisdom. That's awesome. I actually never heard that quote from Abraham Lincoln. I've heard something similar where it's whatever you choose to be the best of it that you can be.
Mm-hmm.
Which I kind of along the same lines, but yeah, it's great. So whatever you are,
Depending on
be a
where
good-
you look for that quote,
right.
it may say somebody else, and
Yeah.
they kind of credit Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham
So
Lincoln.
I just
Okay.
leave it with him. I'm
That's
in
fine.
Illinois.
That's fine. The land of Lincoln anyways, right? Got to celebrate the man.
Yeah.
So hey, so last question is what do you think about doing this again sometime?
Anytime.
All right. Good deal. We look forward to having you on.
I'm always up for talking.
Fantastic. All right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of The Existential Man. We appreciate you joining us live. Go ahead and make sure you check out, link up with Harry the Bigdog Jameson. Make sure you check out veteranslaughsmatter.com so you can get your tickets to the Veterans Laughs Matter comedy show coming up on March 23rd, 2024. Thank you guys for tuning in. Y'all take care and have a good one.